Most videos about moving to Mexico focus on the beginning, the excitement, the savings, the adventure. But nobody talks about what happens later, after the adventure, after the novelty wears off, after this stops feeling like a long vacation and starts feeling like your actual life. That's the stage where some people build something real here and others start planning their exit. If you're new here, I've been living in Mexico full-time across 14 different cities for over 9 years. And one thing I've learned is that moving here isn't a single adjustment. It happens in stages. There's the arrival stage, the culture shock stage, the figuring things out stage, and then there's this stage, the one nobody prepares you for. Not because it's terrible, but because it's not dramatic enough to make headlines. It's just real life. During the honeymoon phase, everything feels interesting. Street food, markets, different rules. Even the problems feel like stories you'll tell later. Power goes out, funny adventure. Water shuts off, part of the experience. But after a few years, those things aren't stories anymore. They're just Tuesday. This is when Mexico stops feeling special and starts feeling normal. It hit me when I stopped taking pictures of everything. And that's when you find out whether you actually like living here or just discovering it. At some point, you realize you don't fully belong to either world. You're not a tourist anymore, but you're not a local either. You know how things work, but not why they work that way. You can get by, but you're never completely comfortable. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. Not miserable enough to leave, not settled enough to relax, just in between. At some point, your world gets smaller. Not because it has to, because you let it. You stop trying to see everything. You stop chasing new places every weekend. And without really noticing, your life starts happening in the same few streets. Same coffee, same store, same daily loop. You figure out what works, and you just keep doing that. And the strange part is, you don't feel like you're missing anything. Because this isn't exploration anymore. It's routine. And routine is what makes a place feel like home. Once your life settles into a routine, your circle gets smaller too. Not because something went wrong, because you stop needing as many people. In the beginning, you're around people all the time. New faces, new conversations. But after a while, you find your rhythm. You find your places. And naturally, you start spending more time alone. Or with a very small circle. Not lonely, just simpler. And this is where something shifts. TIM. This is Mexico. Life here isn't always built around constant social energy. It can be quieter, more routine, more independent. And if you're okay with that, this stage becomes really comfortable. At first, being far from home feels exciting. Different country, different life, different routine. But once your life settles here, it doesn't feel like you're away anymore. It just feels like you're here. And that's when the distance becomes real. You miss things, birthdays, holidays, moments you can't get back. Calls replace being there. time zones get in the way. Trips take planning, not impulse. Nothing dramatic, just small reminders that the life you built is somewhere else now. And when you finally go back, something feels off. Everything works, everything's fast, predictable, clean. And for a moment, it feels good, easy. But then it starts to feel unfamiliar, like you're visiting a place you used to live, not living in it anymore. And that's when you realize something changed. Not the place, you. You got used to a different place, different expectations, different way of living. So when you come back to Mexico, there's a sense of relief. Not because everything is better, because it feels familiar. Once it feels like home, you stop reacting to things the same way. Stuff still happens. No power, no water, no Wi-Fi. Things take longer than they should, but it doesn't feel like a problem anymore. It just feels normal. You stop expecting everything to work perfectly, and you start building your life around that. That's another part of TIM. Not something to fight, just something you factor in. And over time, you either get comfortable with that or you don't. And after a while, a realization shows up. This isn't an adventure anymore. It's your life. You're not visiting. You're not testing it out. You built routines, responsibilities, a version of normal here. And staying stops being a one-time decision. It becomes a choice you keep making every year. Even when you could leave, you don't. And when you have something depending on you, the decision becomes real. This isn't temporary. It's a home. Living in Mexico isn't something you decide just once. Over time, it's something you decide again and again. After the honeymoon, after the adjustments, after real life settles in. And if you still choose it then, that's when you know. You didn't just move here, you built a life here. If you're seriously thinking about this move, this series is here to show you the full picture, not just the exciting parts.